Hey y'all, it's your girl Meesh, and welcome to a new year of the episode Love Meesh podcast, where I share my thoughts, opinions, and ramblings, and sometimes I'll have guests, but no subject is off limits. It's a billion people in the world, and I'm just one of them. So welcome to my world, and let the conversation continue. Up next, we have Easter Sunday, April 12th. Okay, so ancientorigins.net, the ancient pagan origins of Easter. Easter is a festival and holiday celebrated by millions of people around the world who honor the resurrection of Jesus from the dead, described in the New Testament as having occurred 3 days after his crucifixion at Calvary. It is also the day that children excitedly wait for the Easter Bunny to arrive and deliver their treats of chocolate eggs. Easter is a movable feast, which is chosen to correspond with the first Sunday following the full moon after the March equinox, and occurs on different dates around the world, since West churches use the Gregorian calendar, while Eastern churches use the Julian calendar. Christians today celebrate Easter Sunday as the restoration of Jesus. They have a picture of Mary at the tomb and Jesus standing there. Most historians, including biblical scholars, agree that Easter was originally a pagan festival. Dun, dun, dun. According to the New Unger's Bible Dictionary, the word Easter is one of Saxon origin. Estra, Eastra, the goddess of spring, in whose honor sacrifices were offered about Passover time each year. Was Jesus a motherfucking sacrifice? Oh my God. Our whole history, it don't matter what continent you own, is full of ritualistic practices. And we are just like dumb little sheep running around here, waiting to be picked up as a sacrifice. Y'all, this shit just got real. We need to learn protection sigils, spells, and everything else to protect yourself. Yeah, it's not a physical battle. It is a spiritual battle, because it's witches and warlocks walking around here and we're clueless. Oh my God. Witches, wizards, warlocks, whatever you want to call them. Let me reread that again for the people in the back. According to New Unger's Biblical Dictionary, the word Easter is one of Saxon origin. Estra, the goddess of spring, in whose honor sacrifices were offered about Passover time each year. Okay. By the 8th century, Anglo-Saxons had adapted the name to designate the celebration of Christ's resurrection. However, even among those who maintain that Easter has pagan roots, there's some disagreement over which pagan tradition the festival emerged from. Here we have explored some of those perspectives. I love that word because there's many, and I want to know them all and see which one fits with me and my lifestyle and my state of understanding that I'm in at the present moment, because that changes too. Resurrections as a symbol of rebirth. One theory that has been put forward is that Easter's story of crucifixion and resurrection is symbolic of rebirth and renewal, and retells the cycle of the seasons, the death and return of the sun. I listened to another guy, I'm giving y'all all my teachers from a few episodes, and his name, I'm going to have to look up his name because he was the first one that came to me, and I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. Him and Seven Beaumont. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so lost. They're so advanced. I can't even keep up. What's the prerequisite? Because I don't understand. And I forgot his name, but that's okay. I'm gonna pull it up really quick because I have came back to him. Mr. Astrology on YouTube. But I want to get his name. Because he says his name. I was just talking. I looked down, it was not recording. So when I clicked on his video to see his name, because the video comes up even though it wasn't playing, it can only play one audio at a time. And since it's recording me, it stopped recording me to focus on the YouTube, even though I didn't push play. But his name is Ttyl Bosarini. But if you look up Mr. Astrology on YouTube, it will come up, and he is an amazing. I'm just telling y'all, all my little amazing teachers. But you have to get the when you listen to him. First time I listened to him, I thought he was the first teacher. He wasn't the first teacher. I came across Seven Bomar, and then he led me to him. To me, they're neck and neck. They know so much. It's like having a PhD professor as your kindergarten teacher. And you're like, what the fuck? Can we go, is A, please? You up here telling me to do an APA essay, and I ain't even got my alphabet together. So if you get your prerequisites together and learn and build your own foundation spiritually, because we're all supposed to be building our grimoire. They say grimoire is a book of spells, but to me, I think you need a grimoire for life. What have you learned in this life? What could you use to flip back to and continue to grow upon? Some people are really good keeping it in their mind. I actually need visuals, or I'm good with vision boards, or I really love my phone. I have all my notes and stuff on my phone, but just something that I can reflect back on. But to be able to pass it down to the next generation, they shouldn't have to start from scratch. You should be able to say, this is what I did. This is how far I got. Learn this or flip through this and go further, baby. I hate how our generations have to start over every single time. When you look at movies and stuff, they even pass down the Bible with the family member's name. We don't even keep people's names no more. It's just so unimportant. Not only that, what happened to recipe books? Nobody passed those down anymore. It's just like, damn. So when I've been learning about witches and Wicca, they call it a grimoire, which is a personal book of spells. I really want to learn about everything. So it's not just going to be spells and minds. They call them cooking witches, green witches, whatever name you want to call it. Farmers don't resonate with witches. They are good with growing crops. They call themselves farmers. So names don't really bother me. At the end of the day, you are what you are. You're exceptionally good with growing a seed into a beautiful plant. Some farmers have the biggest produce ever. They have tricks that they've learned to do that. My best friend has a beautiful garden, I just told you. She has a green thumb. See, all these names, they're irrelevant. At the end of the day, what does it actually mean? You're exceptionally well with plants. We all should be able to grasp that title. We all need to eat, right? If something happens today or tomorrow, what would you do? Have to be at the mercy of the person that can plant because you didn't get the skill yourself? I just think there's a lot that we should be focusing on that we just don't. That we're handicapping ourselves and nobody really is paying attention to that. So don't let names discourage you. Witch, wigger, demon. I don't give a crap. What does it mean? Because I could be that too. Okay? Murderer. I bet if it's somebody else or you'll kill their ass, so you will be deemed a murderer. Don't let these names frighten you. It is what it is. It's you or me. And 9 times out of 10, I'm not ready to go yet. So I'm sorry, it has to be you. So yes, please look him up. I think I finally got it though. The teacher will appear when the student is ready. The student is ready could mean a lot of things. Maybe I can't even tell you about astrology because you don't even know your planets. Let me know that you're ready for that you're putting in the work, and then I can give it to you. Prime example, I was working. My mom had to drop me off. I always had a job. Because what you don't give me, okay, baby, boom, I'll get it for myself. So I will always need a ride to work. It finally came to the point where my parents got us cars, me and my sisters. Pay my car note, pay my insurance, that's fine. She didn't just say, oh, you're 16, let me get you a car. I ain't got no job. Who finna pay this insurance? Who finna pay this car note? Oh, okay. I guess you don't want no car then. No, I got me a job. This is how much I make. I can definitely afford a car and I can definitely afford insurance. Can you please help a sister out? So if you prepare yourself and let universe know, look at what I prepared, I'm ready, I think it will give it to you. I think if we look at it that way, that's how it is. Preparing for a home, getting your credit together, saving down for your deposit, learning the different rules, picking what bank you're going to use, finding a realtor. Get all of those things in order and the home is yours. I think we kind of focus on, I want a house. Boom, the house falls in your lap. It's not like that. You have to prep for everything. I even think we should be prepping for kids, and we don't. We just kind of handle that at face value. My best friend gave me a book. It's from 0 to 5 about being a mommy, and I know everything ain't in there, trust me. But I'm reading the book. Hello, want to be a mother one day. And so I definitely wanted to prepare for that. You know, it's just me. So cooking is very, very easy. It's only my likes. I know what I want, and I'm going to get what I want, cook it, and I'm done. But to have a family, you have to learn other things. Okay, what will my spouse want to eat? Kids are very, very picky. What do these little gremlins want to eat? So just upping my cooking skills, because I do want a family one day. And even though I want my husband to cook, and as soon as my kids can handle the stove safely, they're getting their ass in there too. But just making sure I'm putting together a cookbook for my family. So yes, universe, I want a family. I'm learning about kids. I'm learning about cooking, just handling my money better. I still want to be a boss babe. So learning how to set time aside for my friends and family and my business. And even with work, making sure I set time aside for myself, because you're not going to look out for me. I have to make sure that my vessel and my mind and my spirit is okay. You just want to make sure that I'm coming in and clocking in every day. But does anybody check on my mentality? You know what I mean? No. If my menstrual is on, I'm having a really hard day. Do y'all know anything about that? No. So I have to take it upon myself to do that. And I think I am going to go to my doctor and get some extra times off, because I'm just out of commission. Once a month, leave me the fuck alone. Like, for real. My niece was just over here. I had the kids for the weekend, and I hadn't packed lunch that day. So number one, if I don't eat, beware. So that was the first strike. Number two, my cycle has never, ever, ever changed. When this app says it's on. 28 days like clockwork. I've been doing my rituals and manifesting with the moon, and just, really thinking the moon and resonating with the moon, and just learning more about my angels, ancestors, and deities. And my cycle has changed. First time ever. So I'm like, something ain't right. So I go to the bathroom. What the fuck? My period was not supposed to be coming on. Because ladies, you kind of know. And I'm like, it was not even time yet. I still have 4 more days. So, you all ladies were always prepared. So I was prepared or whatever. And I'm like, okay. So my cycle came on earlier. And I was wondering, like, I don't eat candy and sweets and stuff like that to, like, buy them on a regular. But I will get cake, birthdays, and holidays and stuff like that. And every month I have to get peanut M&Ms. I'm going to try to switch it to something else. But I'll be like, peanut M&Ms. So I picked the kids were at the house when I came home and there was no food. So I was like, okay, we got to go grocery shopping. I know y'all going to be hungry. Like, let's go. So I went to Dollar Tree, let them pick out some things. Went to Publix, let them pick out some things. And I was going over the list with my niece, and I was like, put peanut M&Ms on there. And then I looked down and I said, no, she was like, does the moon make you grumpy? I said, maybe, because I was yelling at the people driving. And I was like, maybe the moon makes me grumpy. And then I said, baby, I am so sorry. I said, my cycle came on, because she's part of the club now. I said, my fucking cycle came on. I said, baby, I'm hungry and my cycle came on. I need to eat and I need to get these M&Ms. I said, I'm so sorry. Because I didn't know why she was like, does the moon make you grumpy? And I had to tell her I'm sorry. So, guys, bear with us. There's definitely a change. They're talking about werewolves. And I think the true story behind that, no, werewolves don't change under the moon. I think women change under the moon. Leave us the fuck alone. And I want to research women who've had babies under the moon. Is that a pain-free birth? Because we literally are changing. Like, that time of the month, we're changing. So if my time of the month has changed with the moon, I think there's a difference in that too. Like, I was like, get out of the way. Bam! And I'm usually like that, but it be on level 10. Anyways, that was a whole nother podcast. I am so sorry, y'all. So let's get back. Let's get back to the Easter. I'm so mad it made my screen stop and it had to start back up on my Easter. Okay, so Let's see. Easter, Easter, Easter. Where did we stop off at? Ooh. Okay, so here we will explore some of those perspectives. Resurrection as a symbol of rebirth. One theory that has been put forth is that the Easter story of crucifixion and resurrection is symbolic of the rebirth and renewal and retells the cycle of the seasons, the death and return of the sun. According to some scholars, such as Dr. Tony Nugent, teacher of theology and religious studies at Seattle University, if I do go back to school, this will what my focus will be: theology and religion and Western medicine. So I said I wouldn't go back to school, but this is what my heart would want to focus on. And it's not so much the school; it's really the book. So if I could just get the book list, I can do it on my own. I can study by myself. I took online classes. Just tell me what I need to do. Tell me when it's due. I'm good. I could take it from there. I remember going to class and the teacher read a PowerPoint. Like, this isn't pre-K. What? You getting paid to do what? So if you're thinking of a career, professors, honestly, I might even look into it. I could be an online freaking professor. These are your assignments. Turn them in. Call me if you need me. Boom. Simple as fuck. You're supposed to work smart, not hard. I don't care what these people say. And sometimes working hard just could be good time management, good manners, good work ethic. Yes, I have that. So I don't have to say work hard because that's just automatically me. I'm a Jackson, I like to say. But smart, absolutely. I'm not going to reinvent no wheels. No, I'm not. No, I am not. You see Walmart, they got that self-checkout. So instead of paying a cashier to ring your stuff up, you ring your own stuff up for free, and they're only paying one person to look at them 10 machines. Okay, Walmart, I see you. So according to some scholars, such as Dr. Tony Nugent, teacher of theology and religious studies at Seattle University and Presbyterian minister, the Easter story comes from the Sumerian legend of Tammuz and his wife, Inanna Ishtar, an epic myth called the Descent of Inanna, found inscribed on cuneiform clay tablets dating back to 2100 BC. When Tammuz dies, Ishtar is grief-stricken and follows him to the underworld. Oh my God, we were just talking about this. In the underworld, she enters through 7 gates. I'm about to drop this fucking phone. Oh my God. Y'all, I'm telling you, the more you learn, oh my God. Follows him to the underworld. In the underworld, she enters through 7 gates, and her worldly attire is removed. Naked and bowed low, she is judged, killed, and then hung on display. In her absence, the earth loses its fertility, crops cease to grow, and animals stop reproducing unless something is done. All life on earth will end. After Inanna has been missing for 3 days, her assistant goes to other gods for help. Finally, one of them, Enki, creates 2 creatures. For the people in the back, Enki creates 2 creatures who carry the plant of life and water of life down. Plant of life, water of life. OMG. Plant of life, water of life down to the underworld, sprinkling them on Inanna and Tammuz, resurrecting them, and giving them the power to return to the earth as the light of the sun for 6 months. After the 6 months are up, Tammuz returns to the underworld of the dead, remaining there another 6 months, and Ishtar pursues him, prompting the water god to rescue them both. Thus were the cycles of winter, death, and spring life. Let me read that again. Resurrecting him and giving the power to return to earth as the light of sun for 6 months. After the 6 months are up, Tammuz returns to the underworld of the dead, remaining there for another 6 months. And Ishtar pursues him, prompting the water god to rescue them both. Thus were the cycles of winter, death, and spring life. Now, my teacher, and I'm going to do a whole podcast on this, Miss Sharita, who my sister introduced me to, went over astrology with me and opened my eyes to the world of was it the Aztecs and cuneiform. And they talked about Inky and Enlil and all like that. See, I don't have the best memory in the world, but I know it for me. But regurgitating it for someone else, I have to give sources. Because it's like, I already read this. Now, you need to go find it. But I'm not the best regurgitator. I don't even know streets where I live. So I know it's not just because of this. It's just how I'm built in general. And I think I'm okay with that because I haven't tried to change it. Let's see. So the gods. Sumerian. I was so wrong. Sumerian. So the names were like Enlil, Inky. No, An, the initial head of all gods, Enlil, who succeeded, known as the most important God, the king of heaven and earth, the father of the gods, and the king of all the gods, designed the universe. Enki further developed and carried out Enlil plans. Ninurshag, mother of all living beings. I mean, it's amazing, y'all. And it makes me mad that the shit they teach us is so far from what we should be really learning. So, I'm glad I clicked on this. There's a show called The American Gods. And it will give you a good foot to stand on. Because it definitely goes over these if you have an open mind. And then there's another website, godchecker.com. It lists all the gods, y'all. Over 4,000. I'm not even done yet. I just click on different ones because I get bored really easy. So I clicked on the saints for the Catholics. And it's so many saints that were just different people in history. They made sure their name were in the books for different things that they did in the name of Christ and stuff like that. It goes over Egyptian, godchecker.com. They go over everything, but Sumerian is the religion that talks about them. And you can go to realhistorywww.com to see the story that I'm talking about. I just thought, to me, it was so interesting. I printed it out. I gave it to my sisters. Like, I'm such a sharer. I will never keep this shit to myself. I don't think you're supposed to. So I just share, and whoever's meant to be, it'll hit them. And the good thing about podcasts, it'll be here forever or until this platform is up. And whoever clicks on it, even if I'm long and gone, you'll still be able to reap the fruits of the labor or the podcast, so to speak. So I do remember reading about that story. So see how even though the story was about the gods, it still was about nature. So even though we start to worship nature, like, okay, when they come back, that spring, it talks about spring and winter, but there's actually gods behind that. You know what I mean? After the 6 months are up, Tamunez returns to the underworld of the dead, remaining there for 6 months. And Ishtar pursues him, causing the water god to rescue them, which is the cycles of winter, death, and spring life. And even before that, resurrecting them, sprinkling onto them the water of life and the plant of life, giving them power to return to earth as the light of the sun for 6 months. That is a whole fucking god. That is a being. It's not just light. Do you see what the motherfucking light is doing? Trees is growing. It be so cold in my building, I actually go outside and stand under the sun. And it feels like I'm a fucking plant. I feel energy. I feel better. I'm absorbing something. And I can't even describe it. But my body definitely feels it. So it's not just for the plants. It's for us too. It's an energy thing. So that tells you how powerful that is. The sun's supposed to be, and I don't believe they asked, but how many miles away? And it's doing that, and it's affecting us through our atmosphere, through the clouds, through the sky, however many miles from the stratosphere to the ground. It's penetrating us. I don't know, y'all. I think this is the era of truth and knowledge, and they cannot hide it anymore. It literally says, giving them the power to return to earth as the light of the sun. Boom. So yeah, they say get close to nature. Get close to your gods. I think that's the real truth behind it, because nature is them. You see, when he gone, it's winter. Everybody, winter's nice, but ain't nothing thriving. If it was winter year long, we wouldn't be able to eat. Nothing would be growing in certain areas of the planet. You know what I mean? We need the sun. Winter can't be 24. We would not survive. What we gonna eat? The greenhouse is only gonna work for so long. They still need the sun shining down on them. A greenhouse just helps maximize a little bit of light and sunlight that is coming down and traps it. But if you take that out the picture, there's no fucking greenhouse if there's no light, and if there's no warmth. So I don't know, y'all. Yes, we're supposed to get in tune to nature, but it's more to that. I'm gonna just read that one more time for the people in the back. Finally, one of them, Enki, creates two creatures who carry the plant of life and water of life down to the underworld, sprinkling them on Ananiah and Amunzi, resurrecting them and giving them the power to return to earth as the light of the sun for 6 months. And then above that, the earth loses its fertility, crops, and cease to grow, and animals stop reproducing. Unless something is done, all life on earth will end. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Okay. So let's keep going. Dr. Nugent is quick to point out that drawing parallels between the story of Jesus and the epic of Ananiah doesn't necessarily mean that they weren't a real person, Jesus, who was crucified, but rather that if there was the story about it, is structured and embellished in accordance with a pattern that was very ancient and widespread. The Sumerian god. Okay, so remember, if you listen to my other podcast, they already said how whoever the Catholics decided to mix in the pagan holidays rather than to abolish them altogether. Here we go. So you're going to mix in Jesus with Ishtar versus saying don't worship Ishtar. You just gave us something new, Jesus, to redirect our energy when there's really a true meaning behind that. This is so sad. That's like if I wrote a song, and this is how the movie, it was a movie, The Day of the Dead by Disney, where he made the song, the songwriter made the song, and the singer got famous. And the songwriter wanted to go back home to his family and his little girl, but the singer knew that he needed the songwriter to succeed. So he poisoned him. But all this time, people thought those were his real songs. So that's like, for example, if I make a song, somebody else is taking credit for it, you're worshiping. Let's say I wrote all Beyonce songs. All of them. And I know nowadays writers, they hire people. I mean, it's a gig. It is what it is. And she around here saying those are her songs, but I wrote them. So she's getting all the credit and the glory, and I'm not. That's kind of how this is. Oh, Jesus, Jesus, but it's really about Ishtar. Like, what the fuck? This is a very wicked place. I don't know why it's so important to hide the truth or misconstrue the truth. I just don't understand. Give credit where credit is due. I just cannot wrap my mind about that. And understanding is very important to me. It just helps me get it. Even if it's wrong, I could just be like, oh, okay, that person is a sick individual. Oh, I get it. It doesn't make it right. It just helps me understand. But if there's nothing that'll help me understand, it boils my blood. Like, okay, 50 Shades of Grey. The boy was abused. Okay? They would put cigarettes on him, and his mom, he saw his mom get beat up and different stuff like that. That affects what happens to you in your youth. It never leaves you. If you don't conquer those demons, they'll just become bigger demons, bigger than you as an adult, because they've been growing for so long. So a rich lady ended up taking him in, and one of her friends, well-to-do woman, made him he was her submissive. So her sex toy, basically. And that was the only way that he resonated with love, the love that she gave him physically, which her method of love wasn't just love making. She had a whole dungeon type shit, whips and stuff. So pain equaled love for him. When he met the girl, he fell in love with her so much because she like, hell, this ain't it. She loved her romance books and stuff. She's like, why does pain equate to love to you? And he had to just finally break down and tell her. So she showed him a new way of love and life. And that was just a beautiful story. And I didn't look at it for so long because, in the Christian world, it's evil, yada, yada, yada. It's just so much stuff I have to go back and look at and just form my own opinion versus you telling me, and you're so wrong. What you told me was so wrong. There was nothing wrong with that movie. I actually love that movie. I actually love that world, and I'm learning about that world for myself to see if I'm interested in it. Some people like to be tied up and to be suspended from the ceiling. We all kind of know about candle play, but there's different avenues of BDSM, and I'm definitely I'm in the wrong place though, because like in Atlanta, Miami, I'm sure California, there's places you can go and experience this. I don't think Jacksonville is it, but okay, I digress. Let me get back to it. That's one of my Meesh at Night podcasts. Okay, so, but rather, if there was the story about it, it's structured and embellished in accordance with a pattern that was very ancient and widespread. The Sumerian goddess Ananiah is known outside of Mesopotamia by her Babylonian name Ishtar. In ancient Canaan, Ishtar is known as Astari, and her counterparts in the Greek and Roman pantheons are known as Aphrodite and Venus. Oh my God. Same person, y'all. Okay, let's start from the beginning. Ishtar, Babylonian, Ishtar, Canaanite, Ashtart, A-S. Okay, so let me spell it. I-S-H-T-A-R is Babylonian. A-S-T-A-R-T-E is Canaanite. Greek and Roman. Okay, let me start with Greek. Greek is Aphrodite, A-P-H-R-O-D-I-T-E. Roman, Venus, V-E-N-U-S. What? Same person, different cultures. Are you fucking kidding me? It's like the more I learn. Let me just continue. In the 4th century, when Christians identified the exact site in Jerusalem where the empty tomb of Jesus had been located, they selected the spot where a temple of Aphrodite, Ashtar, Ishtar, and Ananias stood. I love how they put all the names together. They selected the spot where a temple of Aphrodite, Ashtar, Ishtar, and Ananias stood. You are not worshiping Jesus. Oh my God. All them people that pilgrimage there. This was the tomb of Jesus. Hello. This was the tomb of Aphrodite. Okay? Or not the tomb, a temple. This is where honey was worshipped. The temple was torn down, and the sole church of the Holy Spectrum was built. The holiest church in the Christian world. I wonder why it was so holy. I bet some magical shit was happening there. And not because of the whole Christian name, because it was still holy ground from Aphrodite. You know what? I needed this. This was a beautiful, 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 beautiful reading. Let me keep going. During Nugait, Dr. Nugait points out the story of Ananiah and Namunzi is just one of the number of accounts of dying and rising gods that represent the cycle of seasons and stars. For example, the resurrection of the Egyptian Horus, the story of Mithras, who was worshipped at springtime, the tale of Dionysus, resurrected by his grandmother. Among these stories are prevailing themes of fertility, conception, renewal, descent into darkness, and the triumph of light over darkness, or good over evil. Easter as a celebration of the goddess of spring. A related perspective is that rather than being a representation of the story of Ishtar, Easter was originally a celebration of Eshteri, goddess of spring, also known as Oshtar, or Estere. One of the most revered aspects of Oshtar for both ancient and modern observers is the spirit of renewal. Celebrated at the spring equinox on March 21st, Oshtar marks the day when light is equal to darkness and will continue to grow. As the brighter of light, after a long dark winter, the goddess was often depicted with the hare, an animal that represents the arrival of spring as well as the fertility of the season. According to Jacob Grimm's mythology, the idea of resurrection was ingrained with the celebration of Ostrai. Estrai seems therefore to have been the divinity of the radiant dawn, of upspringing light, a spectacle that brings joy and blessings, whose meaning could be easily adapted by the resurrection day of the Christian God. Most analysts of the origin of the word Easter agree that it was named after Estere, an ancient word meaning spring. Through many European languages, uses one form of another of the Latin name for Easter, Pascha, which is derived from the Hebrew Pishak, meaning Passover. Origins of Eastern customs. The most widely practiced customs of Easter Sunday relate to the symbol of the rabbit, Easter bunny, and an egg. As outlined previously, the rabbit was a symbol associated with Orshday, representing the beginning of springtime. Likewise, the egg has come to represent spring, fertility, and renewal. In Germanic mythology, it is said that Ostra healed a wounded bird she found in the woods by changing it into a hare. Still particularly a bird, the hare showed its gratitude to the goddess by laying eggs as a gift. The Encyclopedia Britannica clearly explains the pagan traditions associated with the egg. The egg as a symbol of fertility and of renewed life goes back to the ancient Egyptians and Parisians who had also the custom of coloring and eating eggs during the spring festival. Wow. In ancient Egypt, an egg symbolized the sun, while for the Babylonians, the egg represented the hatching of Venus, Ishtar, who fell from heaven to the Euphrates. So where does the tradition of an egg-toiling Easter bunny come from? The first reference can be found in the German text dating back to 1572 AD. Don't worry if the Easter bunny escapes you. Should we miss his eggs, we will cook the next, the text reads. But it wasn't until the tradition made its way to the United States via the arrival of German immigrants that the custom took on its current form. By the end of the 19th century, shops were selling rabbit-shaped candies, which later became chocolate bunnies we have today, and children were being told the story of the rabbit that delivers baskets of eggs, chocolate, and other candy on Easter morning. In many Christian traditions, the custom of giving eggs at Easter celebrates new life. Christians remember that Jesus, after dying on the cross, rose from the dead, showing that life could be won over death. For Christians, the egg is a symbol of the tomb in which the body of Jesus was placed, while cracking the egg represents Jesus' resurrection. Oh my God. In the Orthodox tradition, eggs are painted red to symbolize the blood of Jesus shed on the cross. Regardless of the very ancient origin of the symbol of the egg, most people agree that nothing symbolizes renewal more perfectly than the egg, round, endless, and full of the promise of life. While many of the pagan customs associated with the celebration of spring were at one stage practiced alongside Christian Easter traditions, they evenly came to be observed within Christianity as a symbol of the resurrection of Jesus. The First Council of Nicaea, 325, established the date of Easter as the first Sunday after the full moon, the Paschal full moon. Girl, shut up. They're even following the moon, y'all. The first Sunday after the full moon, following the March equinox, whether it is observed as a religious holiday commemorating the resurrection of Jesus Christ or a time frame for families in the Northern Hemisphere to enjoy the coming of spring and celebrate with eggs, decorating, and Easter bunnies, the celebration of Easter still retains the same spirit of rebirth and renewal as it has for thousands of years. I have one more, but that one was so long. I'm sorry, y'all. It was so good, I didn't want to leave it out. Okay, so the other one comes from, oh, come on, listverse.com. I just had it on there. I wonder why it changed. Labor Day, Mardi Gras, November, Valentine's Day, Patrick's Day. Oh, maybe it wasn't that one. It wasn't, my bad. Timeanddate.com. Many churches hold special services on Easter Sunday, which celebrate Jesus' resurrection after his crucifixion. Many people also decorate eggs. These can be hard-boiled eggs that can be eaten later, but many also be molded eggs made of plastic, chocolate, candy, or other materials. It's also common to organize Easter egg hunts. Eggs of some form are hidden supposedly by a rabbit or hare. People, especially children, then search for them. In some areas, Easter egg hunts are a popular way for local businesses to promote. Easter egg hunts are a popular way for local businesses to promote themselves. For the people in the back, or may even be organized by the churches. Shut your mouth. The same church that calls it pagans and don't celebrate it, promote it. Local businesses promote themselves or may even be organized by churches. They all in cahoots. The blindfold is off, honey. Easter Sunday is not a federal holiday, but a number of stores are closed in many parts of the U.S. In pagan times, many groups of people organized spring festivals. Many of these celebrated the rebirth of nature, the return of land to fertility, and the birth of many young animals. These are the origins of Easter eggs that we still hunt for and eat. In Christian times, the spring began to be associated with, I'm so sick of saying that, Good Friday, and the resurrection is remembered on Easter Sunday. The idea of the resurrection joined with the ideas of rebirth and pagan beliefs. Boom, baby. There I go again. Joined with the ideas of rebirth and pagan beliefs. Okay. For people with strong Christian beliefs, the cross that Jesus was crucified on and his resurrection are important symbols of the period around Easter. Other symbols of Easter include real eggs, eggs manufactured from a range of materials such as necks, lambs, rabbits, or hares. Sometimes these symbols are combined, for example, in candy molds. Egg, rabbits, or hare young animals are thought to represent the rebirth and the return of fertility of nature in the spring. I needed every bit of that, y'all. I needed every bit of that. Okay. So that completes Easter. Hey, y'all. It's your girl, Meesh, and welcome to a new year of the episode Love Meesh Podcast, where I share my thoughts, opinions, and ramblings, and sometimes I'll have guests, but no subject is off limits. It's a billion people in the world, and I'm just one of them. So welcome to my world, and let the conversation continue. Thanks a million for listening. You can reach me on all my other social media platforms by visiting my Linktree, which is luv.meesh. I hope you have a better than great day. Love you. Talk to you later. Bye.